A panic attack is one of the most feared parts of anxiety, and for good reason. When you have a panic attack, you are hit with a tidal wave of fear and physical sensations that mimics a life-threatening event. Your heart races, your chest tightens, and it can become difficult to breathe. Some of us even start sweating or begin to feel dizzy like we're about to pass out. But fortunately, there's a way to stop panic attacks, and you're about to learn how. Before we dive in, make sure you download the 5-step cure to anxiety and panic attacks that's in the link below. That is going to show you the 5 steps that I teach my clients to allow them to overcome anxiety and panic forever. All right, the first step in stopping a panic attack is understanding what a panic attack is. A panic attack occurs when your body engages its fight or flight response unnecessarily. Your fight or flight response is like a built-in alarm, and it's intended to engage only when you're in actual danger. When this happens, your body prepares you to fight the threat or to flee to safety. It releases adrenaline, cortisol, and other stress hormones that creates this sudden burst of energy and strength. That allows you to react quickly and hopefully avoid the danger. This response was crucial for our hunter and gatherer ancestors, whose daily lives focused primarily just on survival. Our ancient ancestors coexisted in the same environment as dangerous wild animals, like hyenas, lions, wolves, and even saber-toothed tigers. Those animals constantly posed a threat to their survival. And on top of that, our ancestors had to suffer through and somehow survive the harshest elements that Mother Nature had to offer. That included the unrelenting heat of the summer days and the freezing whiteout conditions of a winter blizzard. And they had to do all this while living dangerously exposed and relatively defenseless under poorly constructed shelters. So, needless to say, our ancient ancestors frequently utilized this fight or flight response. When they sense a threat, such as a noise in the nearby bushes or spot the dark clouds of a big storm on the horizon, their fight or flight response would flood their system with adrenaline and allow them to quickly spring into action. But when this response engages unnecessarily, when there's no danger or threat present, that's when you have a panic attack, because your body has released a massive surge of adrenaline and stress hormones in your bloodstream. And that causes your anxiety to skyrocket to between an 8 and a 10 on the anxiety scale. So that's when you think, oh, I'm having a heart attack. But the reality is that you're completely and entirely safe. In fact, your body is actually in a heightened state of vigilance. So it's in the most protective and safe state possible. In other words, you are not being harmed or injured in any way, I promise. Okay, so the secret to stopping a panic attack is stripping away your fear of the sensations. Your fear is the fuel for the panic. It is what signals to your body to release even more adrenaline and stress hormones, which in turn makes your anxiety even worse. So what I want you to do is to implement step 4 of the fearless approach and begin to encourage anxiety. Here's how that looks on the anxiety scale. In step 4, you encourage your anxiety to become even worse. So what that means is, instead of recoiling in fear, I want you to demand more panic. I want you to ask it to increase in intensity. In order to do that, I want you to repeat the following. Great, give me even more anxiety. Or, great, bring this on. These sensations can't hurt me. Okay, I know what you're thinking right now. Make it worse. That's insane. It gets bad enough already. But what you're going to find is that encouraging anxiety is the antidote for panic. Because by trying to increase your anxiety, What you're doing is you're sending a crystal clear message to your prefrontal cortex that there is no threat, and that will instantly slow the release of stress hormones. What you're going to notice is that this has a calming effect. It's just like Dr. Claire Weekes said in her book, Hope and Help for Your Nerves, way back in 1962. You cannot increase your symptoms by facing them or even trying to intensify them. In fact, you'll find that when you consciously try to make them worse, they improve. So when we try to increase our anxiety is actually going to decrease to a more manageable level. It's going to lower your severe anxiety or your panic a couple notches on the anxiety scale, and it's going to put you back in the driver's seat. Here are some final tips when you're encouraging your anxiety. Number 1, repeat the response several times over. Number 2, whenever possible, say the response aloud. Number 3, I want you to stand up and hop up and down while you're saying the response. Number 4, have a smile spread across your face as you're encouraging anxiety. All right, to recap, when you start to experience a panic attack, I want you to stand up, hop up and down, have a smile across your face, and repeat the phrase out loud, great, give me even more anxiety. Now, not all situations are going to allow you to do all those. For instance, I don't want you to stand up during a work meeting, hop up and down, and say that phrase out loud. Instead, I just want you to stay seated, repeat the phrase internally with a smile on your face. That will be plenty effective, I promise. Well, there you have it. You now know the secret to eliminating panic attacks forever. As you begin encouraging anxiety, expect to be able to stop panic attacks either immediately or within the next couple weeks. This alone is going to be a huge weight lifted off your shoulders and a big step forward in the recovery process. Thanks so much for watching, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep learning how to overcome your anxiety.